Welcome to episode 4 of The Clay Chronicles, where mud meets magic. In this series, we'll embark on a journey through my collection, unraveling the secrets of their creation, decoration, and the masterful hands that brought them to life. From cups to home decor, we'll explore the mysteries, the skills and techniques, and the talented potters who transformed mud into magic. Today, we will be discussing the work of Ralph Esposito. Ralph is a retired arts professor from Carroll College in Helena, Montana. My name is Paige Kelly, and I am the potter, maker, and creator behind Zephyr Valley Ceramics. I created this series to bring ceramics education and inspiration to underserved communities and clay fans alike. This episode was recorded in part during a live event on my TikTok channel. If you would like to be notified of these live events, please be sure to subscribe to my newsletter and follow me on TikTok by using the links contained in the description below. Welcome! We are going to have our first live event discussing pots that will be featured on the next episode of The Clay Chronicles, which is really exciting. We might have a little bit of, it's the first time running a live and doing this as a recording for the Clay Chronicles, so I just wanted to give you all the heads up that it's not going to be perfect. This is not intended to be a super professional type situation. My goal here really is to share pieces from my collection, my personal collection. I've been collecting ceramics for 24 years or so, and so I have a wide variety of functional ware, decorative ware, all kinds of different pieces. So I like to, as part of helping to bring some education and community together around ceramics, I definitely want to just be focusing on the two artists that I am going to be presenting on the Clay Chronicles web series. And one of those, actually the first of those, is this pot, this very specific piece, that is going to be our first topic for the day. So my hope is that as we have some discussions about the work itself, we'll talk about the artist, the person who created this work, and any questions that you have, please put them in the comments. I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. So, the making of these pots, I know personally most of the potters that I have so far introduced on the Clay Chronicles, and I have stories to share with you about my experience with them, what I learned from them, the amazing people that they are. I better start recording on my web series here. This particular piece, I was not present for this particular demo. This was a piece that my mentor and instructor, Ralph Esposito, made as a demonstration piece in one of the classes. Now I have to sort of show you the information. Well, okay, so the college that I went to the first time is Carroll College. It is a local college in Helena, Montana. It's in the same town that the Archie Bray Foundation is in. Now, as part of that program, I was there getting my history degree. It's a liberal arts class, so you have to take an arts class anyway. I had already been taking classes at the Archie Bray Foundation, and so I tried very hard to not have to take Ceramics 101 from Ralph. He let me take another class, an alternate class, which was actually sponsored and aided by the Archie Bray Foundation. It was a resident there, Ben Krupka, who taught this alternate class. And because I got to take that alternate class, I was then able to go in and do other things under Ralph's mentorship and tutelage. He allowed me to be a technical assistant in the studio, and that was where I learned to do a lot of clay prep, so like pugging, recycling, all of that. I learned that from Ralph. Also how to mix glazes. the techs were responsible for mixing glazes so that everything would be available for the students when it was time for them to glaze their pots. We also loaded and unloaded kilns, and that was the first time I'd ever had that direct experience as well. So I owe Ralph a lot of, just good juju, because he was there and mentored me a lot while I was going through that process. Ralph was teaching Carroll College. He taught there for 40 years. So he was not only the ceramics instructor, he was also the primary instructor for most of the drawing classes. He was also a painter. He paints in watercolors and acrylics and oils. He's a multifaceted artist, which is something that I think is a really great combination, especially for someone to be able to do decoration on ceramics like this pot that I have in front of you. This is a pot that was thrown from 25 pounds of clay, okay, in one chunk. So Carroll College is a liberal arts college. It's a private Catholic college, and they have a football program for, I think it's the NAIA division. I don't understand sports speak, so I don't know what that means, but they have a very big football program. And so lots of the kids that were taking the Ceramics 101 class were kids who were football players, and they would go to this class to get their art piece taken care of for their graduation, right? So you had to have at least, I think it was at least 3 or 6 credits in an arts in order to have a liberal arts, a Bachelor of Arts degree from this particular school, which was really, in some ways, kind of sad, because it was really focused on football, not so much on the arts piece of that. Anyway, Ralph was challenged by some of these football kids to, because they're 18, 19, 20 years old, they're feeling their oats. They want to see the guy, the old guy that's teaching them ceramics, how to throw pots. And they want to see him throw a 25-pound block of clay, because that's how the clay comes, or at least the way it used to come from the Bray, is it would come in a 50-pound box. You'd open that 50-pound box up and you'd have 2 big blocks of 25 pounds of clay. So this is the piece he made from that. He took a 25-pound block of clay, and this is not any kind of photo trickery. This is just a really gigantic picture. And so this piece is now 17 pounds. I weighed it because I was curious. It is thrown from a single block of 25 pounds of clay. This is ABFO. This is the Archie Bray Foundation oxidation. This is the clay body that they send to all the schools. And so this has got that raw, it's not really it's a dark clay, but it's not like, it doesn't have any particular quality. It's not, it doesn't have a purple hue to it. It's just a nice dark clay. It's really great for kids because it's got a lot of grog in it. So it's really easy for them to make hand-built work with this. So it's a perfect school clay. Okay, so this is ABFO, that's the clay body. And this was fired in an electric kiln at Cone 6. And these are the glazes and the decoration, the washes. This is a cobalt, I think it's a cobalt wash. Probably mixed in wax so that it wouldn't burn out right away or get blended with the glaze. But yeah, that was fired in an electric kiln, Cone 6. It was thrown on the wheel. You can kind of see some throwing lines in there where the glaze kind of catches on the interior of that pot. And I don't know specifically what he used as far as the decoration on the outside. I can only make some guesses, but he did some layering, as you can see. And so, of course, the football kids were pretty impressed that Ralph could throw a 25-pound pot. And I just love this piece. I'm so grateful to have this as part of my collection. You can see the bottom there, no S cracks. So we got all that compression done. It's really good. So Ralph is retired now. His last show that I'm aware of was at the Myrna Loy, which is a theater in Helena that is a performance theater, a movie theater, and an art space. It's actually the original jailhouse that was built in Helena in the 1800s when it was the Wild Wild West out here. And at some point about 30 years ago, they turned it into a performance space and named it after our most famous actress, Myrna Loy, who grew up in this area. Gary Cooper also grew up in this area, as it turns out. But they named it after Myrna Loy, and it's a great space for gallery space. It is gorgeous, isn't it? Thank you. I just love it. I just think that Ralph is just one of the kindest people. I have to share, I used to call him Grumpy Dwarf because he'd walk around looking grumpy all the time. But he has the kindest heart, and he has been such a great mentor. So I have to share another story with you about Ralph. Ralph was still working at still working at Carroll. And he was thinking about retiring, and I wanted to get a hold of him and ask him some questions about what it would take to become a professional potter full-time. And this is really important, and I really want you guys to hear this. He asked me a question, and that question was, why do you want to make pots? Are you doing it because you want it to be a job, or are you doing it because you want to make art? And your response based on that is going to change how you approach your studio practice. And of course, my answer was, well, I want to do both. So it's taken me a long time to figure out exactly how I want that to look. But I have really appreciated that question, because if you want to throw pots as a job and you want to be able to make a living doing that, most, not all, but most folks are going to need to be able to come up with a product that they can sell. Can a product be beautiful and artistic? Yes. But you have to be able to reproduce it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And some people are incredibly good at that. Some people are not. So a studio art practice, however, allows for a bit more of that artistic journey to occur. And then you have to be willing to do the hard work of approaching galleries if you want to sell it, or figuring out if you can take art to a festival and sell it in person. So it's a very different style of choosing to do pottery as a form of employment, a profession. It's very challenging to do. It's very challenging to do no matter how old you are, no matter how long it's been that you've been doing the work. This kind of leads a little bit into the hubbub about the prices of cups. And there is a whole like massive amount of thought that goes behind what people price their pots at. If there's someone who's making reproducible, the same work all the time, they're going to tend to have to make a ton of that work, which means that they are going much faster than people who are paying a little more attention to the decoration or paying a little more attention to the details of a pot. So it's going to be a very different, you can't take two handmade cups and say, well, if this guy's charging $35, this guy should charge $35. Well, maybe this guy's only been doing it for 2 years and he's just, blast them out blasting out those cups like crazy. And maybe this artist has been doing it for 20 years. And what matters to them is the details. And they want to spend time with this cup, and they want to put love into this cup that's not just a job. So this artist is going to charge $85 for that cup. And that's fine. They're different. They have different purposes. So I just want you guys to think about that a little bit. If you are in the pottery talk at all and you're seeing anything about this hubbub about people talking about other people's prices, it's like, it's a very personal thing. I don't know a single artist, and I know a lot of them. I do not know a single one who just casually just throws out a price. Like, pottery prices are something that we agonize over because we want to be sure that we are getting paid, but also that the value of what we have put into that pot is rewarded, and that you are getting something extra if we're charging you extra. So for me, I charge $65 because I am a potter who's been working for 20 some years, and I have thought about every little detail on that pot. So just so that you guys have a kind of a funny sense of that, it's not, there's no right answer. They're all right answers. What works for that potter is what they're charging, and you can appreciate it or not. And if you don't want to buy that piece, that's fine. Just move on. It's okay. We know that not everybody's going to love everything we make. That's part of the reason why art is made. It's to make you think. And if it doesn't engage with you on a visceral level or a cellular level, then it's not for you. It's for somebody else. It's okay. So yeah, I went on a tangent, but I really feel like Ralph nailed it when he asked me about what kind of work I wanted to make. If I wanted to make functional work that people would use every day, or if I would make something that would be a little bit more decorative. And I'm still on that journey. I also want to share with you some installation art that Ralph did on the grounds of Carroll College in 2009, I believe. He went to a brick factory, and I wish I could remember who and where, and if I can find that information, I will add that in a caption. But he went to a very specific place. I believe it was a brick company, and had the opportunity to make bricks and build and carve the bricks to make furniture, to make brick furniture. And the picture that you see here is the brick outline. It's sort of the rough draft, if you will. And this was wet brick and put in the correct configuration, and then some refining and smoothing out of the surface. And you can see it starting to take shape. Unfortunately, some of these images are quite small from 2009. But this is Ralph, and he's working on the shaping of the couch. And now you're starting to see some of the labels on the images: day 4, day 5. And I believe that this was just intended to be the foundational structure. So this bottom piece here is not the actual part of the actual piece itself. Just this top piece is. And now the disassembly, because they're bricks and they're wet, so they have to be fired. So I believe every piece as it was deconstructed was numbered and labeled on the brick itself so that it would be known where the brick would go once it was transported to its final destination. It's kind of interesting to watch it sort of being taken apart piece by piece. And here it is fired and sort of placed back together just to make sure. I love the addition of these pillows. I think these pillows are just brilliant. Okay, and this is the site that's been cordoned off where the installation is going to go. And a fresh slab was poured, some holes where the couch was going to go so that it had sort of a structure that would hold it in the ground, give it a little extra support, but also secure it to the site. You can see that some color has been added to the concrete here. And that first layer's in. You can see where it's keying in. A little bit of mortar and filling. And there it is. Couple of markers, descriptors, and the dedication. And this is the ottoman. And here is a pillar that was also created to be essentially what is a stand next to the couch, carved in a bas relief. And here is the piece, the ottoman, the couch, the stand, some sculptural books in place on site. And this is in front of the Corrett Library on the campus of Carroll College in Helena, Montana. And here is a detail of the books. A detail of the book end. And again, all of the pieces in place. And just to give you a sense of the size of the couch, this is Ralph himself sitting on the couch after it's been installed. I love this picture. One of the things that is pretty cool about being an art professor and being able to take a sabbatical is the opportunity to do special interest projects. This project was just one of several that Ralph completed during his career at Carroll College. I really just thought this one showed his sense of humor, and I really am happy that I found some images from 2009 to share with you. This particular image was published in the Billings Gazette in the year of 2009. I'm really glad I got the opportunity to share this work with you. I hope that you enjoyed seeing that you don't have to be just one kind of artist. You can be a multifaceted artist and do functional wear, tableware, home decor, and even installation art. And it doesn't have to be just one thing. And really, it's about the devotion to the expression and the integrity of the work. And that's really what Ralph brings to the table. I hope you enjoyed looking at the piece in my collection and the work that I was able to dig up on the internet. Thank you, internet, for holding on to pictures. And we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching or listening to this episode. Your support allows me to continue to make more of this amazing content. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel so that you will be notified when new episodes are published. If you'd like to support me on a greater level, then check the description below, where you will find opportunities to sign up for my newsletter, make a donation, or buy merch. Be sure to leave any questions or thoughts about this episode in the comments, and check the description for more information about today's maker. I would like to acknowledge that the land where this web series / podcast is produced is on land that is occupied, unceded, seized territory of the Salish people. This episode was written, recorded, and edited by Paige Kelly and produced by EPicMediaMarketing, LLC. The music is a traditional Irish tune, Jacky Tar, performed, recorded, and provided by John Piccolo. Thanks again.